Hello, welcome to Dambusters, The Perfect Approach. As an artist, I've painted probably more Dambuster paintings than any other artist. It's just been a lifelong fascination of mine, and it's actually quite hard to come up with new angles on the subject. But one angle I'd never painted was from behind, facing the dam as the aircraft's going into attack. And the obvious one to paint in that respect was Squadron Leader Henry Young's attack, which was the 4th. And many believe that they actually broke the dam with theirs because it was the perfect approach. They dropped the upkeep right on time, right on target, the right distance, etc. And it did significant damage to the dam, and yeah, many believe it actually broke it. So I use this angle. The problem with painting an aircraft from behind is the distortion, especially if you get close to the aircraft. The distortion can be quite marked, so it's quite tricky. But I gave it a go, and as you can see, what I'm doing now is roughly painting the aircraft on, adding a little bit of highlight onto the wings just to give me an impression of the density, how it might look. And what you also notice now, of course, is I'm painting over it again because I'm having to get the speed lines to match the aircraft, and you can't just paint around the very edge, you have to just go over it. So it's you're going backwards a little bit, but it helps establish the aircraft into the background scene. So I'm adding a bit of mist behind the dam there, and putting the towers in. The towers are very important, obviously. That's what they lined up on when they dropped the upkeep. And now that I've established the background well enough, I'm now blocking the aircraft back in again. This is a process that I do all the time with painting. Some people ask me, well, why don't you paint the background completely and then just put the aeroplane on? But then effectively it will look like the aeroplane is just stuck on. You have to do a bit, then put the aeroplane in, then go around it and put the aeroplane back in again to make the background and aircraft blend together, really. So just adding the highlights now on the wing there, establishing where the light's coming from, and now adding the detail onto the fuselage. Again, it's only about 75% detail. Again, I wouldn't completely finish the detail on the aircraft and then go back to the background because it just wouldn't work. So this is roughly putting the highlights on, putting the details, the windows, just roughly where they are, so I can see how it's developing. And the important thing about this painting was the light reflected off the fuselage from the fire in the distance. That's the key thing in this painting, because it connects the aircraft to the background. So that colour in the distance is reflected all the way down the fuselage with the windows, and that's the one thing that works. And again, on the leading edge of the wing as well. So it's important to get that right, and you'll notice I do that 2 or 3 times as I go along through the painting. And you see I'm adding the spotlights now, no ruler, although there is a pencil line there to guide me. Now, I'm sure most of you know, but they used spotlights to gauge their height. They were down to 60 feet, and altimeters at that height really are not effective, or they weren't effective in 1943, so they used 2 spotlights pointing from different parts of the aircraft, and when they met in a figure of 8, they knew they were exactly at 60 feet. Very simple, but remarkably effective. So but the problem with this painting was always the right hand side. As you can see, I'm repainting the right hand side many times. Left hand side here, not a problem. Absolutely happy with the left hand side all the time, because that's where the light is. Now in a night scene, you need the light, you need as much light as you can. Now we've got the light of the fire in the distance, and I would love to have put the moon into the picture and then had a nice pretty reflection from the water. Unfortunately, the moon was for the Mona attack was in the 8 o'clock, around about the 8 o'clock position of the aircraft, which means there's no way I could include it in the painting. Now a lot of artists just put the moon wherever they want. In fact, there's one artist, every time he paints a Dambuster picture, his moon, he's in a different place. But if you're doing this historically, trying to be historically accurate, then you have to. I mean, the moon's a vitally important thing. If the moon had been behind the aircraft, they'd have all been shot down because the gunners would have seen them. So I have to be content with just having a sense of light on the left-hand side. So yeah, putting the spotlights back in again on the right-hand side, which I've applied about 20 layers of paint already. It's gone from dark to light, light to dark. Popping the upkeep in now. It's amazing how the upkeep actually travelled with the aircraft. It didn't fall behind them very much at all. If you watch film footage, the upkeep hit the water pretty much under the rear turret. It didn't drag at all. And there was an eyewitness to the raid who said that the aircraft left a spray wake behind them because they were so low, which is what I'm doing here, just putting an impression of that in. Although in the end I think I faded that so much you can hardly see it in the final painting. Guy Gibson and Mick Martin flew ahead of Squadron Leader Young to draw the fire, so those two aircraft in the distance, Gibson on the left is on the air side of the dam and Mick Martin is on this side of the dam, both of them trying to draw fire away from this particular Lancaster as it dropped its upkeep. And so we head towards the final stages of the painting. What I'm going to do now is to add really nice warm light to the side of the fuselage and to the fin to finally connect the aircraft to the background and to the light source in the distance. You'll notice I'm still struggling with the right hand side of the painting, so I'm adding some splashes and some spray from the anti-aircraft fire hitting the water there just to add a bit of interest. And the final thing is just adding a few pure white highlights to the aircraft and upkeep. And there it is, final painting. Dambusters the perfect approach, Squadron Leader Henry Young's attack on the Myrna Dam. Now this is quite a big canvas, it's 48 by 24 inches, so these few photographs now will just show you a bit of the detail really. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed watching, then please do subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can see other videos like this, and if you've seen it on Facebook then please do like and share, apparently that all helps. And if you'd like to buy a print, the original has just sold, but if you'd like to buy a print then all the details are available at my website, which is possart.com. So, thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now.